Dann gehen wir langsam runter und dann können wir raufgehen. Wir können sehen, da haben wir solche, auf der Bühne haben wir solche Gänge nach unten.
When you stand here at this place, and you can see the stadium, which is theatre, which can house so many people. It gives one an idea of the size that this Caesarea must have been 1,900 years ago. Also, it leaves the archaeologists with a very difficult problem. To what period do they take it back to? Do they go back to the initial Jewish period, or under Herod, or do they take it to the Roman period, or the Byzantine period, or the Arab period, or the Crusader period, or Mamluk period? Because one level seems to go on top of another, and later generations used stones for different purposes, and a stone which may have been used as a column may be used later for grinding. Magnificent setting. So this is one of the entrances to the theatre. The theatre was built between 22 and 10 BCE by King Herod, and throughout its 400 or so years it was in use, it had slight modifications depending on what they wanted to do. For example, it's believed they had nautical games even here, so which would require a little bit of flooding. The theatre itself was closed down by the Byzantines in the 5th century CE, because being good Christians, they didn't like the licentious behaviour of what was going on in the plays. So this part of the amphitheatre has unfortunately been lost. It would have been probably around the same height. Obviously the seating area has been restored, but here there would have been similar height on the building, maybe 3 or 4 floors. There wouldn't have been a sea view as there is today. Mosaic flooring again from up here. This is where the corporate seats were. So you paid a bit extra, you could come and sit and watch the games with Herod up here. So standing here with this wonderful setting, wonderful sunny day, hearing the crashing of the waves, it's hard to, easy to forget that this was a place of great suffering, and in this place took place the games, the Christian versus the lions, and people were martyred in horrific circumstances as the rulers of the town, of the province, stood or sat here, and below wild beasts or gladiators killed each other, or hostages. In those days the sea wouldn't have been directly in front, there was extra seating there. Even so, the sea would have been visible further down. And the Romans, for all their skill, knowledge, building communications, water supply, housing, were people of great cruelty. The cruelty that allowed them to extend their empire from northwestern Britain to Basra in today's Iraq. People of great culture, people of great cruelty. More wonderful mosaics. Totally exposed the elements now. No longer a flat path. And this must be part of the Byzantine bathhouse, built on the viewing area, or the hippodrome. This part of the bath house was the place where people would come in, and they would sit around and the talk changed. They could exercise. There's also, effectively, it was a spa, and the bathhouse here with cold, warm, and hot rooms, furnaces, changing rooms in front of me, central hall. And soap wasn't actually used in those days, but they did use all sorts of oils and things like that. So from the east we can see the initial part, the northern part of the bathhouse, which was the communal areas where people came to no bathing here, the games, the meetings, the whatever else, the cosmetic treatments. Now water was brought into the bath, not only into this bathhouse, but into the homes of all the wealthy as early as the time the town was actually built, around when Herod was king. And they did this through pipes which were brought in through aqueducts, which parts of which can still be seen, and pipes which are made of lead or clay, and people had fresh water. Also, I believe that dirty water was also removed. Now along this street, which is going east to west, we have the tavern and other towards the sea, and here we have the public toilets, which were connected to a sewer which should have been run under this street, which is running from east to west. I don't know what happened to the dirty water. Here we have a hall with mosaic floor, which has pictures of vines, of birds, and ibexes. And as now many places had a mosaic of horned animals that had certain significance. The ibex, unfortunately, is no longer found here, but is found still in the Negev and in the Arabian Peninsula. So within with what is today the inner part of the complex here in the shopping area, this was once in front of me. This was part of the port observation platform up there, and somehow the ships that are coming here and docked. But this in medieval times it was made completely land. But this was the harbour. Once. So for example, the mosque, which must have gone up in the early Arab period, sometime in the Byzantines, I suppose, it ceased being in the harbour. I don't know how old these walls are. If these walls are from the Roman period, or they're from Crusader or Byzantine or what, but they've stood pretty well the test of time. I suspect that this is in fact the Crusader, but even so, castle walls around. Of course, this was the most important port in this part of the Mediterranean in the Roman period. But it stood up very well. of January 2008. Unfortunately, got a bit of breeze has now come up. We have, looking over Caesarea. But it was a very nice morning, very pleasant. We're able to walk around with in short sleeves, so we can't complain too much. And this is the last day in Israel. Tomorrow I'll be home.